I played Matthew Pluckett, actually, is his name, National Master, with the white pieces. And we have, of course, e4. He goes c5. I go c3. He goes knight of 6, right? And knight of 6, we've covered this. We go e5. He goes knight d5. What do? We play knight of 3 or d4. It doesn't really matter. d4. He takes it. I could go knight of 3, but I take back because that doesn't really matter. d6. We've seen this before. What do we play? Knight of 3. e6 here. In fact, knight c6 is a move too as well, which he actually ended up playing. But e6, and this one here is strange. I don't like it, where he blocks both the bishops in. So immediately I'm already thinking, this is already a great thing because I'm thinking of the French bishop, which he's going to try to activate. But this is not the right idea, right? But okay, we'll make our moves. I go bishop d3, setting up, right? We've seen this before. We want to put the bishop here. Now, of course, you could go bishop c4. This is what you'll see in other Alapins. But our Alapin, our c3 Sicilian, we put it usually on d3. But you also have b5 as well. Bishop d3, I like to place it there. Knight to c6 looks very similar than in the chapters of what we've seen before in the theory, right? e6, except the e-pawn is usually here, but sometimes it's here. Let's see what happens. I go castle, I get out of the way. He goes bishop e7, natural move to castle. I go queen to e2. Where is the queen going? To e4. After we play knight to c3, if you went through the knight of 6 chapter, you remember a plan with knight c3. After he captures, pawn takes. We want to play queen e4 at some point, put the rook on d1, right? Maybe bishop f4 or g5 in many cases, and we're just going for mate, right? That's just all we want. So, of course, he castles. Perfect. I follow up with the plan. Knight c3. So far, so good. Literally following almost everything that you've looked at in the theory. Knight takes c3. Pawn takes c3. That's automatic. He takes to separate. And we've seen this exact position. Very close, right, guys? So it's like with the queen e4, rook d1, right? All of this we've seen before. Okay. He goes f5. And here, this was a master over the board. Played f5, and immediately I already know that something's wrong. Something's completely wrong because f5 is, he realizes there's pressure. The bishops are monsters and things are going to happen, and he can't really move as much. The French bishop's really bad. Everything's on a back rank here, and I'm just going to attack him and hope for the best. So he goes f5 and lashes out here, understanding that, hey, this bishop needs to be blocked. So do you think we're going to keep this bishop blocked? Not at all. In fact, in your own games, as bad as it may be, or you may think it is, you probably need to open this bishop up because that's why it's on d3. So of course I choose the opposite route so I can take and keep the bishop line open. He takes back with the bishop, which is attacking c3, and I go bishop to a3, which is a nice development move. My idea here was actually, okay, you know what? I know that this is weak. I may be able to get the queen to e4 at some point and really maybe even sacrifice on h7, but I don't want his king to be able to run far. And in fact, later on, this square was not available to him because this bishop was on this diagonal. I was also able to attack something. I'm a big fan of the tempo move. So bishop a3 attacks the rook with tempo, makes him do something. So he moves it away, right? He moves it away. Now I have more moves to make. I thought about queen e4. I thought about rook d1. But I knew that this was very weak and very loose, right? So what I played here was queen to c2. This is a different one than what you're used to. Queen e4 is what we're used to seeing and what we'll do all the time. And honestly, it's a great move. Queen e4, but then after g6, right, I have to play h4. And I just felt that this was a little slow. After h4, right, I could play this, but then maybe I go queen d5. And the fact is that he's trying to trade, and we don't want to trade at all. We don't want any of this, and we were trying to play h5 and open this up, and I didn't want this. So what I actually chose was go queen c2, and actually with the route of having, hey, you're either going to play h6 and make all the light squares weak, or you're going to play g6, which I am going to sacrifice it. I always like to show how cool this is. After bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes g6, right? And if bishop g7, you have knight to g5. And remember, this bishop that was over here is now helping us in all the lines because if queen f6, there's mate, right? And it's amazing that that bishop on a3 was able to help. So after queen takes g6, right, he can't go anywhere, right? He can't block knight g5, so he goes king h8, but then I bring the rook in. I can even start with rook d1. Rook d1, the bishop is cutting everything off. Look at this bishop line. Such a beautiful bishop. The rook is a monster. If the queen moves away, you hang the whole rook in the game. Oh, the bishop's hanging too. The queen is literally overloaded here. I'm attacking the queen. It's defending the rook. It's defending the bishop. There's too many things. And then bishop d7, at the very least, I could capture this. But a better move, right, is rook to e1 with the threat of just rook e4 and like rook lifting and bringing every piece into the game. This is a beautiful attack that I was able to do here. This didn't happen because he knew and he saw that I'm going to sack this. So after queen to c2, he didn't push either one of the pawns. He went for queen a5. At this point, we're going to win this game. But it is going to take some time. So what do we do here? We take on h7 first because it's a free pawn. He goes king h8. My bishop is hanging. This pawn is hanging as well, right? I don't want to go bishop b2. It's a very passive move. And so what? You can have your pawn back. So I go bishop to d6. I want to keep the bishop here. I'm not going to trade queens if he captures, right? But he goes rook d8 first to attack my bishop. What I do is I defend the bishop, bring the last piece into the game. I still don't care about a capture on c3. He does not do it, but once he captures on c3, I'm just going to move the queen because I want to go this route anyway. What happens is, though, I back the bishop up. I have time because my idea is this is not mate. These need to be reversed. How can I reverse the bishop and the queen? So I need to back the bishop up, get the queen involved, and somehow get the queen over to h5. But I also need to be watch out because I can't even get there yet. That's the idea. And of course, when you have plans and ideas, you try to execute them. So I back the bishop up to e4. Bishop d3 blocks this. That's why I chose the e4 square. And then after bishop e4, he finally takes it. Are we trading queens? Come on now. What do you think? Absolutely not. Queen to e2, and we're going to queen h5 is our idea. Bishop to e8. He says, none of that. Not today. But at the same time, it also stops. Oh, it also attacks the bishop here. And I mean, queen a5, I don't have to deal with this square. Bishop e8 is a very nice move. And actually, he also wants to play bishop h5 and try to pin this in many cases. But I was like, okay, if I can't do it with the queen, I'll do it with the rook. So I go bishop to b1 with the idea of if you go bishop h5, then maybe I'll go queen e4, right? I wanted to remove these. I wanted to actually switch these. So if this, we might see this, which is now very annoying. It's very annoying for him still. He has to deal with this. He's getting attacked left and right, back and forth, right? Bishop b1's nice. I like it. I also want to play rook to d3. Maybe get another piece in the game. Who knows? Who knows? Bishop f7, right? He's defending the pawn as well. And also, by the way, bishop e4 was also attacking. Bishop b1 was also attacking e6. So bishop to f7, he defends. Then I go rook to d3. Nice move here. Rook to d3. And now he goes queen a5. And I want you to pause the video here. Of course, if you're watching this, and it's white to move here. Tactical vision is definitely required. Hopefully you did puzzle rush today. It is white to move. What do? When you come back to the video, of course, hopefully you found 95. Wow, what a move. Sacrificing the material. Now after 95, you have to find the rest of the sequence here. And the goal here is I needed to block. I needed interference is what we call this here, or even deflection in a way. But 95, no matter how you take this knight, my next move is going to be rook h3 check. 95, and in post-game analysis, he said, I thought that you were going for a perpetual, but we're not going for a perpetual here, guys. We're going for mate. So knight takes e5 was on the board. That's what he played. I go rook h3 check, king to g8, and now the next move is up to you. How do you find this? Bishop h7, where it looks like it's just a perpetual. King to h8, and after the king goes to h8, how do you finish this off? There's only one way. Of course, you could repeat moves once, but the only way to do this is you need to involve the queen, and you can't because the bishop. So you have to block the bishop line, and then it sets up. Now remember that bishop we talked about that we might cut him off and he can't run away? All because this weird bishop we put on a3 a long time ago is cutting off the escape square. So this beautiful tactic works. Rook h8, king takes, queen h5 check, and queen h7 checkmate. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and hopefully you enjoyed it. You can put some comments